Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another Unedited, where we take a look at Absolver. So, Absolver, I'm gonna try and keep this one streamlined. I've tried recording a video about this a couple of times, but as you might have noticed in other videos, when I'm talking, I get distracted. I made a list and I'm going through some gameplay elements, some mechanics, and then we'll talk about the future of the game. First of all, when you start playing the game, you don't start over here in this area where I'm at now. You actually start in a smaller tutorial area. And as you progress through the tutorial, you get to a new bit, which is and I'm gonna try and find that. I think it's somewhere over here, isn't it? I always get lost here. Was it over here? It's over here. Yes. So you get to the bridge of guidance, and that's where the meat of the game pretty much is. The guidance bridge. That's it. So this is where you arrive as a new player after finishing the tutorial, and then you get to go to 3 different paths or areas. They are connected, so you can leave one area and then go to all 3 different areas before you come back here. Now the game has a short story which is based in these areas. As you can see on the map in front of me here, there are some blips. I'm not sure if you can see it correctly, but there are 4, 3 smaller and 1 bigger just over my character's head, 2 smaller and 1 bigger to the left of him, and there's another small blip just left of that white glowy thing. Those are sub-bosses and bosses, and as you progress through the game, you start developing your character, or at least you start learning how the game works, and you take on these stronger sub-bosses first. Then you could just run straight for the boss, but that's not recommended, because you need to learn and develop some skill. This is a very skill-based game, and also online, as you can see in the lower left corner, lower right corner. Anyway, as you progress, it took me about 9 hours. You finally get to the final boss, and then the game resets into a sort of new game plus, where I'm at now. All the gameplay is still there, so you can just go do the. Who are you? I don't know. So you can just go and clear the boss again and have some fun and all that. I think the guy wants to fight or something. Um, but yeah, you're basically stuck here in this new level while you hone your skills and become a master of your style. When you want to actually progress and fight the bosses again, you'll have to have a certain combat trials level, which is the PvP bit of the game, and that's over here. So if you go to the combat trials, you get a 1v1 where you have to kill an opponent 3 times to win. And that's actually 3 times. It's not best out of 3 or best out of 5. It's actually, well, it's actually best out of 5, because when you fought 5 matches, one would have 3 wins. And then as you do that, you level up. But you can just, if you just want to play this game for the PvE, you can actually do the whole PvP thing and just stand there, get your ass kicked, and you get one of them diamonds on the right side. And if you fill it up, get 5 diamonds, you level up to your 2nd level. You can also go 3v3, which might also be fun. I haven't tried it out yet. It could actually be better than 1v1 as a new player. I don't know. It's in beta, and apparently the waiting times are quite long because the game Well, it has a population, but the population is mostly focused on 1v1. You can also create a co-op group if you want to play the game with a friend. I'm not sure how many people can be in a group at one specific time, at one time, but you can group as well. Now, as you play the game and you fight your way across the world, and you kill you develop your character, you level up, you get experience every time you kill an enemy, and as you level up you get to spend some points in certain attributes, and it totally depends on your playstyle which attributes are good for you. Sadly, yeah, I've already leveled up the last time I think, so I can't show you that right now. But what I can actually do is go to this altar. As you can see, I've entered the area and so have other players, and other players aren't necessarily friendly. I've been ganked more in this game than in 2 years of World of Warcraft. But you can actually turn that off, and that's what I'm doing right now. Wait, okay, there we go. So now I'm in this area all by my lonesome, and that's good because you can come across quite strong enemies here, specifically this one. Oh, there we go, Jin Meska, which is pretty much the most badass enemy in the game. Ah, damn it. Really need to learn that one. So that's actually where we get to the next bit of what I was gonna talk about, and that's learning moves. As you fight enemies, they do all kinds of shit that you can't. Well, you can't yet. And you have to learn them. And you learn them by defending against them. But it's not just defending against them, you have to beat the enemy as well. You can learn moves in PvP, and it helps if you have a friend who has progressed further than you. That way you can learn moves by cheating the system and just blocking all the attacks. Ah, god damn it. That one is so hard to... But the big problem is that you actually have to beat enemies in order to learn the moves. And an enemy like Jin Meska here is pretty damn tough to beat. Oh, god damn it. So fucking this up. And that's the sound the game makes when you've trained enough to have learned a new move. And then the guy draws a sword. A fucking sword to a fist fight, you bastard. Oh god. Oh my god. So that's basically how the game works. You block and you dodge and you try to learn your enemy's moves and anticipate them, and then you get better and you block more and you stay alive more. But that's not all. You get a few abilities to help you. To the lower left you can see three circles, and on they're mapped to my controller. What do you call it? The cross controls. Don't know what you call them. Anyway, if I press left, I get a small heal. If I press right, I get a shockwave effect, and if I press up, I get my sword. And that sword depletes. That's the bar you see next to the sword, and then it breaks. That's your durability, but that recharges over time. So if once you've found an equipable sword, you have a perma sword. But that takes energy, and the energy is yeah, it's y- I don't know. The energy is these little crystals that are on my hip right there. I've got 5 right now because I'm level 40, and you get 1 every 5 levels, I think, as of a certain level. Do the math, you'll figure it out. Um, and like my heal costs 2 energy, so I can use my heal right now because I have 2. I could use my shockwave as well because that that requires 2 energy as well. But the sword requires 3, so I have to fill 1 more, and I do so by blocking and dodging, I think. There are stats that you can level, like I'll show you right here. Will is the charge refill, and that allows you to get more energy faster. Then you have endurance, which is your stamina, helps you uh, chain and block, chain attacks and block. Vitality is your health, isn't more than that. And then you have strength and dexterity, which increase your damage output, but that depends on what style you have. There are 4 styles. I have the stagger style equipped. I could equip the avoid style as well. As you can see, it changes my health and my stamina, and also my damage output. Improves mainly dexterity, vitality, and strength are abandoned in favor of other attributes. Okay, that's interesting to know. So I could go Windfall instead of Stagger. They each have a special ability, but I like the style of Stagger, so that's what I chose. There are 2 strength-based styles as well, one of which is apparently the meta in this game. As you level up and as you learn moves, you start mastering your style, and well, I'm guessing that will unlock something as well if you've mastered it. Then if you've mastered it, I think you can actually goddamn, really need to block that one or learn how to dodge it. And that's how you heal yourself, by constantly hitting the foe. So, if you create your own school, you become a mentor, and you can teach other people your combat deck, which is quite an interesting mechanic if you ask me. Oh, that's a feint, by the way. You can do that too. But shit, I will die. Alright, so yeah, Jin Meska is kinda, it's one of the tougher enemies that you'll find. It's not exactly a boss, I think. It might be. But he uses the stagger style, so it's the pretty much the only one that you can fight against to improve your. Ah, that you bastard! And now he dropped his own sword, and I kill him finally. So as you can see to the right there, just now there were a couple of circles, and that show the progression of skills that I learn. And because Jin has the style that I really want to master, I have to fight him more often, and that allows me to create my own combat deck and become a master of my own style and school. This is where the game really shines. I can go into meditation, and what I didn't show you just now is that I can equip and create my own decks, as they're called here, for war gloves, swords, and my bare hands. And by doing so, I can, for example, equip this one. I've already made it the best version that I can currently make it with the moves that I've learned. But you can go into this screen here, which is the combat deck editor, and set up different combinations. So, for example, I'm in the top right quarter of the square. That's my stance, and I can change that by pressing R and then right trigger, and then using the right thumbstick to switch stances. Now this is just a part of it, because after that I can select an attack, and this tells me the attack does this kind of damage, it stops charges, this is power, speed, and range, and then it finishes in this quarter, which allows me to select a combination from that section. Now I can then equip one that finishes in a different section to um, combine sections together. So I have created this deck, which is a fluent combination of all skills that I can have. So it doesn't matter. I will do 12 different attacks as long as I keep pressing X. And if I master this, I can gold chain the entire deck, which would help me kill an enemy. And then there are special modifications that attacks can have, like this one does a break, which breaks the charge. Yeah, I think this one does a charging stop. So if the enemy player or enemy is charging an attack, I can use this one and the charge will stop. Then this attack dodges lower attacks. This one dodges high attacks. This is a charge attack. And this one steps to the right. And then we have on the right side here alternative attacks, which I can do at any time. Mid-chain, I can press Y and it does an alternative attack. And depending on how you slot those, you can create different chains here as well. So you can press Y and go through all four alternative attacks. Yeah, that's pretty much your deck editor. You can see here on the top left of each attack, there is a little symbol which resembles one of the styles, and if you go into the editor, you'll see that this attack is not skilled depending on your statistics. This one, however, is. If I have mobility and dexterity, this one does more damage than if I'm mainly strength. This one scales more by strength and less by dexterity and a little bit by mobility, and that goes for all these attacks. And as you also can see, there are quite a few attacks that I'm still unlocking. Like this one, it's nearly done, but I don't have it yet. Or this one, this is also an interesting attack. It's pretty cool, pretty strong. Um, but I still need to defend against it successfully a couple more times before I actually unlock it. There are quite a few attacks in the game. I think a total of 140 something. because you also have your let's see, your weapon decks, which you can change the same way. They combine weapon attacks with your normal attacks that you have in your normal deck as well, and again they might scale differently depending on which style they belong to. So that's your weapons and abilities, and next we get to the online offline invitation only bit. I myself don't like playing online a lot because I've been ganked quite a bit, as I've mentioned before. Um, as a new player, you're at a huge disadvantage because of the difficulty of the game, and there are a ton of players that have been playing the game for so long and they run around in the same world and they know how the game works way better than we do. They can do all these special abilities that I'm still learning. They have mastered styles, they have learned attacks that I'm still learning, and they have gear that's way better than mine. So they do more damage and they are protected more, and you name it, they can do things that I've never even seen yet, which makes it feel rather unfair that they're matched, or that we share the same world. Now, there is the ability to play offline, but if you play offline, you cannot go into the combat trials. And the combat trials is required, or the combat trials are required to progress the PvE section as well. And that's kind of annoying, but that's the way the developers did it, and it's okay because you don't actually have to win a game. You don't actually have to do anything. If you go to the combat trials, you can launch and it will find a session, usually pretty quickly, and then you get pitted against someone else. And someone else might be way stronger, way more level than you are. I'm level 40, so my stats are limited compared to someone who's finished the game, or at least who's level to level 60. Level 60 is the maximum level, and after that it's mainly gear that changes and all the moves that you learn. So let's see, I'm level 40 as you can see here, and this guy's level 27, so I might be at an advantage here. I'm not quite sure. This might be a new character who already is way better than I am. So I go into my blocking and I'm trying to let's see. Um, Basically, I have to win all 3 rounds in order to in. Oh damn it! I used all my stamina on that one. Now both heal. Now I need to. Damn it! Oh, oh, well done. So as you can see, the game is mechanic. It's all mechanics in this game. God damn it! God damn it. I think I equipped the wrong combat deck right now. But anyway, I could just go ahead and lose to this guy. It's alright. I think I unequip my stagger and equip my own instead. But god damn it. Well, that was a close comeback. But there you go. That's one-on-one. I suck at it. But you get experience and you still level up. And then you get the performance and victory potential squares or diamonds. And if you get 5 of them, you level up to your next level. Yeah, see, I unequipped my combat deck. That's why I sucked right now. Then you get what? We're in here again. I didn't want this. Quit. Yes. So then you get back in the section where you can change your combat deck, etc. And you can mess around with it. You can learn new skills. But apparently I forgot to change my combat deck here. This one is a lot stronger than my own one because, well, it's been developed as the stagger deck. So if you want to play stagger, if you don't have all the moves yet, that one is better because it has all the moves. If I equip that one, I actually stand more of a chance against other players because I have moves that I have not unlocked yet myself. Now, anyway, that's the online offline bit. If you're not online, you cannot play the combat trials and you cannot progress through the PvE difficulty. However, you can play online and then set invitations only, and that way no other players can join your PvE session. So what I like to do is I like to run around and do some PvE and occasionally drop into the combat trials and yeah, try to get a few new diamonds. Ah, that one. Hey, I'm blocking you, bastard. Yeah, I dodged it for the first time ever. Okay, Jin. Ah, got that. So what happened there is I got stunned because I ran out of stamina. Yeah, and that's how you level up. So I can now run down here. I don't even have to run down there. I can just go here. And then I can press meditation. And you will see that depending on which stat I upgrade, different things change. And there is a huge diminishing return. So the endurance is only giving me 2 points right now for stamina. Will gives me 4 points of, well, 0.04 points of short refill multiplier. Dexterity gives me zero point 0.1, even though this is a very dexterity based style. And this one gives me 0.2 because it's the diminishing returns kick in around level, yeah, between 12 and 16, depending on the stat, really. So what would be nice to have? I was thinking about going full on stamina, but I might actually just increase my strength. Or put this to 10. Yeah, I'm gonna put that on 10 for now. So that's Absolver for you. It's a very interesting game if you enjoy PvE, and I just realized I forgot a little bit. There's a the developers have a post-launch roadmap. The game launched a couple of months ago, I think. I'm not quite sure when, where they are actually planning to add more PvP game modes and also additional PvE content. And they said they didn't want to add a small little extra area, but they actually want to expand on what they already have and build something bigger. However, because it's a small team, it will take some time. So if you're if you're gonna if you want to play this game for the PvE, you might want to wait for that. You might want to, but you might want to get the game now while it's on sale. If you have friends, the co-op is great, and I'm really looking forward to play this game with one of my gaming buddies. Um, because the game is quite intriguing gameplay mechanically. So yeah, there's my opinion. I think the game is definitely worth $15. I'm not quite sure whether it's worth $30 right now, but if the developers actually do release the additional content they have on their roadmap right now, the game will be awesome. The community seems nice and friendly, though ganking is a major issue. Um, yeah, and then there's the online offline inconvenience, which I really I really don't like. I don't see any reason why I would not be able to just connect to the servers as soon as I click Combat Trials. If I'm offline and I want to play Combat Trials, it's easy to just click it, connect me, and then off we go. I mean, I'm a programmer myself. That's one, maybe two lines of code, depending on your code style. Anyway, yeah, that's Absolver. It's a great game, and I really enjoy it. So I hope you had some great days this week, and I wish you all a very happy New Year's. Bye for now.